Hello Earth, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mars Manson and today we're going to be reading another creepypasta. Today's story is My Sister Went Missing in the Mountains 3 years ago. Today I received her voicemails by LadyVonMare. My sister and I had this kind of bond where we kind of trusted each other more than we trusted our own parents. I guess this was forced upon us because our parents usually always left us home alone together. Growing up, we pretty much only had each other. Because of this, she would usually always come to me for help during any situation before going to our parents, unless the issue was about growing up. It's self-explanatory as to why. 3 years ago, I remember, it was summer of 2017. For some reason, my sister had grown a fondness of rock climbing and hiking. Now, I don't judge because of what you're interested in, unless it's really fucking weird, but I didn't want her to be so adventurous with this hobby because of how dangerous it is. Nonetheless, I supported her the most I could, despite my paranoid imagination of her getting hurt and whatnot. One day in June, she decided she would take a hike up a somewhat far but still near mountain trail. Due to how far it was from home, and me not being into rock climbing as much as her, I declined the offer to go together. To this day, I regret doing so. Come late June, and it turns out her friends all canceled so she would go alone. I'm not sure what could qualify as a rock climbing and hiking expert and whatnot, but I assure you she was one. Despite my complaining of her going alone, she used the "I'm 22 and you're 23 now, stop worrying" card on me. With a sigh of defeat, I took my loss at the argument and let her go with wishes of luck and hope that she would be fine. After we both said our ever so dragged on goodbyes because of me, she was off. I sent her a text as soon as she drove off asking what percent her phone was on. She replied 100% because she had just charged it before she left. Well, that was the biggest relief I felt. I decided not to bug her anymore, despite my worries, because she's doing what she loves, plus she's kinda like a professional at it. She'll be fine. Before I knew it, days had passed. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. 3 years. I haven't seen her for 3 years. I've sent an endless amount of texts asking about where the hell she is, if she's okay, what the hell happened. You get the point. Not a single fucking reply. I never got her to tell me the place she went because I'll be back before you know it, as she always said. I knew I should have made her tell me. Just yesterday, at 4:19 a.m., I woke up to an endless stream of the sound of notifications on my phone. They poured in like crazy. I sat up in bed and took a look at the damn annoying noise. 15 missed calls had been sent to voicemail. I was confused as hell because it's 4 in the fucking morning. My confusion soon turned to shock and worry when I glanced at who the sender was. Amy. The nickname I gave my sister years ago because her name was Amelia. I listened to her voicemails and found myself in tears of horror and sorrow. The wildest part was that I received the voicemails yesterday, yet the dates they were recorded were still on the notification as the date they were sent. I took a day to recollect my thoughts, and now I'm here typing this out on no sleep because I honestly think you guys would believe me. This is what the voicemail said. Voicemail number 1, June 28th, 2017, 2:13 p.m. Hey, I knew you would worry about me, so I called, but you were probably busy. I'm leaving this voicemail to let you know that I'm just fine. Still on my way over to the trail. Hope your day is going well. I miss you. End of message. Voicemail number 2, July 1st, 2017. 12:03 a.m. I made it to the trail. It's dark out, so I'll be sleeping in the car for the night. Just wanted to check in with you before I fell asleep. Everything's going according to plan. Hope you're well. There's owls outside and they're hooting sometimes. This is new to me. I wish you were here to hear them with me, because I know you were always so curious about owls. Anyway, good night and have sweet dreams, alright? I miss you. Inaudible, but most likely a laugh from Amy. End of message. Voicemail number 3. July 1st, 2017, 9:52 a.m. Good morning, Carter. I never knew the car could be so comfortable yet uncomfortable at the same time. The time has come for me to start taking my hike. Wish me luck, Carter. Gotta check my inventory first. Hope your day goes well. Miss you. End of message. Voicemail number 4. July 1st, 2017, 8:27 p.m. Well, I found myself in a bit of a predicament. The trail seems to be unfinished, so I'm not sure where to go. I'll discover the rest of the trail and name it Amelia Trail and then get famous for it. Anyway, I'm going to have to set up camp to call it a day since it's 8. I hope you're doing okay. Why aren't you answering your phone, by the way? At least leave me a voicemail or text me or something. I miss you and I'm kind of starting to get homesick. So, yeah, call me sometime. Good night. End of message. This one brought me to watery eyes because of how sad she sounded at the last part. Voicemail number 5, July 2nd, 2017, 7:36 a.m. Why aren't you answering your phone? Ugh, you know I hate when you do this. Anyway, things have been going according to plan, like I'm discovering my own trail. My inventory is all good, and I'm still safe. Just wish you'd answer and pretend to be here with me. Inaudible. And yeah, I haven't seen a trace of any sign that someone was here before me. I'm going to make us famous. I hope you're doing well, and answer your phone or text me sometime. End of message. Voicemail number 6, July 5th, 2017, 3:30 a.m. Okay. Inaudible sounds of distress. I might not be alone here. So I had set up camp 3 days ago and was asleep in my tent. No shit, I had my phone under my pillow like always. Well, to my dismay, I woke up that following morning to have it found gone. Well, for the following 2 days, I ran around like a mad woman looking for it. I found it just now on a tree branch, perfectly perched up with its camera facing the camp from a distance. Carter, I'm actually kind of scared, but it could have easily just been a curious squirrel or... So, I'm limiting my phone use to make the most of my phone's battery. It's been about 7 days since I've left. I'm still at 94%. I'm glad I upgraded phones and brought my portable charger. I'll make sure to keep you updated if anything else happens. Please, answer your phone. Bye. End of message. This is the one that made me cry. I felt so bad, but at the same time, I'd never once received any calls of any sort. Voicemail number 7, July 6, 2017, 11:08 a.m. I've made it quite far and high up. It's almost like this never ends. Think I might discover the longest hiking trail known to mankind? Nothing has really happened since my phone disappearing. Maybe it was just a curious animal and I'm just being crazy. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, because after I climb the mountain ahead, I'm going to come back home and I'm going to give you the biggest hug you've ever felt in your life. Long pause with the sound of leaves crunching at her feet as she walks. This is taking longer than I thought. You won't answer your phone. I miss you. I miss home. Sniffle and then a whimper. Please, call me or text me. I feel so alone. You big loser. She manages to laugh a little between her tears. Please? End of message. I don't think anything has ever made me cry as hard as I did to this message. I tried to contact you every day I could, Amy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I really am. Voicemail number 8, July 10th, 2017, 2:41 a.m. Inaudible scraping sound, weird clicking sound. Sudden silence, later interrupted by approaching footsteps, then Amy's voice. There it is! It's in a call? Oh, Carter? Another voicemail. Carter, I saw it. I saw what took my phone. It was definitely not like any animal I've ever seen. It was weird, small, and human-like, yet not human. I purposely left my phone near the tent entrance and lay there awake. Around 5 in the morning, I saw one of the tent flaps open a little, and it peeked this weird, somewhat shriveled arm, then a shoulder, and eventually the entire body and head. It grabbed my phone and looked at me. I was staring at it with wide eyes, unable to make a sound. It took my phone and made a run for it. I was so paralyzed with fear of what I had just seen. Its eyes were sunken and almost colorless. Its eyes, almost as if its glare at me caused me to remain motionless until I fell asleep. I came looking for my phone, and here I am after 4 fucking days. Carter, I'm sorry, Carter, but we can be famous for something else. I'm going home right the fuck now, and I think I'm done with the outdoors. Sound of her footsteps. She stops walking for a moment because of the sound in a nearby bush rustling. Her footsteps pick up in pace to a full sprint. End of message. I was left in confused horror. Voicemail number 9, July 31st, 2017, 12:33 a.m. Carter, I sniffle as she appears to be crying. I don't know if I'm gonna make it home. Long pause as she cries. July 10th, I think? That's when I was running and... Inaudible speech combined with crying. She pauses to catch her breath. Something jumped out at me, and I don't know where I am, Carter. Crying. Really miss you. I'm scared. It's dark. I hope you're okay. Don't forget about me if I don't make it home. Okay? She completely breaks down. I don't even know if I'm still on the trail to be able to call for help. End of message. In unison with the message, I cried along. I couldn't help it. I hadn't seen nor heard from her in 3 fucking years. I broke down as well. I hesitantly listened to the rest. Voicemail number 10, August 27th, 2017, 1:12 p.m. It's like there's a society of them. Carter, the creatures I saw before, there's more than one. There's hundreds. There's probably thousands. They're holding me captive. I have my gear because I don't think they know how any of it works. Carter, these fucking things, I don't know what the fuck they are. They look like decaying bodies. They smell like them too. But they're alive. They're small. They're shriveled up with sunken faces. Their eyes are colorless. I think they communicate with these weird fucking clicking sounds. Carter, I'm scared shitless right now. I don't know what they want from me. Have they ever even fucking seen a human? I'm freaking out. I'm having a panic attack. She tries to catch her breath. What will they do to me? It's daytime, and I know I'm in the mountain. I had planned to climb before. I called for a rescue a long time ago, and I heard the helicopter fly by. I don't think anyone is gonna find me for a long-ass time. Carter, I'm so sorry I didn't listen to you. She starts to break down. I miss you so much. I'm sorry. End of message. This message brought me to tears and fear. I didn't want to continue, but I did. Voicemail number 11, February 19th, 2018, 5:30 a.m. Inaudible sounds, presumably sobs. Carter, I know for sure I won't make it. They're keeping me alive with the animals they hunt. One day, on their hunt, I was left alone, so I did some exploring in the limited space I'm in. She sniffles as she tries to continue speaking. I found bones. I found a human fucking skull, Carter, she sobs. These things, I don't know for sure, but I think they struggle to pick up loud noises, but can pick up even the lowest of sounds. When I shout, they don't seem to hear it, but they can hear even the slightest whisper from me. Carter, please. I don't even know if you listen to these. I really, really hope that you do. She takes another moment to cry. I know you don't like rock climbing or hiking or the outdoors at all, but I'm begging you. Come for me. I don't know where up the trail I am, but I'm somewhere near where the mountain picks up. It's trail's name. When you reach the dead end, take a left through the trees that are aligned almost as a doorway. You're my only hope. I miss you. End of message. I know what I have to do, but I decided to listen to the rest of the voicemails before I did anything rash. Voicemail number 12, December 14th, 2018, 2:37 a.m. She spoke through tears. Happy birthday, Carter. I'm sorry for the long absence. I'm trying to preserve my phone battery because these pricks broke my portable charger. It's so cold. Be safe, Carter. I sure as hell can't. These creatures have been observing me for the past year. I'm so fucked. Carter, don't ever forget about me. I have no clue why you don't ever answer me. Maybe you just don't care about me anymore. She takes a solid 2 minutes to cry to herself, then 2 more to recollect herself. I'm sorry about that. I'm just scared. Please come save me, Carter. End of message. Voicemail number 13. April 29th, 2019. 10:59 p.m. Fuck. Carter, what a fucking birthday present. I fucking get. I woke up to find these creatures murdering one of their own kind. Their hands. They don't look the part, but their fingers are like fucking razor blades. They decapitated one in a swift slash with a single fucking finger. One of them took the head and proceeded to fucking eat everything inside of it. I threw up, but I couldn't stop staring. Carter, I'm so done with the outdoors. If I get a chance, I'm burning the fucking forest down. I don't care if I cause a forest fire. I'm burning it all down. Earlier, they stuffed the empty head with the body of the one they killed after completely annihilating its bones. I heard every crack violently from the horrific scene of them stomping on the body and the internal organs spewing out from the headless neck. I threw up so hard. Carter, they fucking offered me the head. They fucking offered me the fucking head. I feel like I'm going insane. I don't want to piss these things off. I took the gift. It's as I described before. Their skin feels like decaying flesh. They have teeth like sharks that fit into the mouth like a human's, but the size of a cat's. What the actual fuck are these things? Please help me, Carter. Please. End of message. I felt sick and worried. Voicemail number 14. October 25th, 2019, 1:01 a.m. These things, I know what they want now. Carter, they may not be able to speak, but they can comprehend what I say. And they seem to speak in some sort of Morse code, I think. They use clicks and a weird low hum. They just want to use me as a means to create more of their kind. Carter, they're not capable of speech, but they're intelligent. They want to reproduce using me until the day I die. If I refuse, I'd probably anger them and they'd just hurt me. I don't want to accept either. Get me the hell out of here, Carter. I'd do almost anything just to see you again. End of message. Her voice was so monotone, emotionless, lost, and dead. It was the sound of defeat, someone who had given up, lost all hope, and accepted they were doomed with an ill fate. Voicemail number 15, May 18th, 2020, 4:19 a.m. Carter, I'm going to miss you. I'll probably never see you again. Live a long, happy life for me. I don't want to die a painful death. I don't think I have any choice but to accept. To think my phone survived for so long, I'm finally at 3%. I conserved it only for when I spoke with you, or at least when I tried to. I don't know why you never answered me. I missed you a whole lot. I still do. It's painful to think that you could be at home, either worrying about me or not. Both thoughts hurt me. I just am cornered. I have no choice but to submit to their requests. Goodbye, Carter. You were my favorite family member. She starts to break down. You still are. You always will be. I've never been closer to anyone the way I am with you. I didn't deserve a brother like you. I should have listened to you and not gone. Long pause as she cries. Never forget. End of message. The audio abruptly cut off. She never once has hung up or left a call or voicemail unfinished. I knew what this meant. Her phone died. I dreaded the thought. I knew it was true and I hated it. Fast forward to now. I'm sitting in my car with my dad's shotgun, his pistol, ammunition, a few extra hiking and camping gear my sister had in her room, and food and water. I knew what I had to do. I'm going to listen to the 11th voicemail right after I post this to get the location. Then I'm going to get my fucking sister back or die trying. She was the closest to me anyone had ever been, and she's been through everything with me. The world has probably hardly ever seen two siblings as close as we are. I'm not letting her just stay there to suffer the terrible fate of being used as a slave for their reproduction, then eventually die. I'm not letting a single one of those fucking things survive either. Part 2. As I expected, you people are supportive. I listened to the advice many of you gave me in the first part of this ordeal. I'm here with an update of what happened after I went for my sister, since a lot of you wanted to hear about it. Now, to start things off, I'm not a big guy. I'm not athletic, nor strong at all. I'd like to just say that this whole thing was smooth sailing, and I went in the Rambo style spraying bullets and came out unscathed with my sister. If only that were true. Here's what actually happened. As a few of you said, I shouldn't go alone. I called a friend and had to explain the entire thing. He didn't believe me at all. With a groan, I just decided to tell him we were going hunting. He obliged. Now, my friend Diego was the absolute opposite of me. In joke terms, I suppose you could call him a Chad. He's a big dude, he's athletic, and if it wasn't clear, he enjoyed hunting. His dad was also into casting, which was perfect because, as one of you pointed out, these fucking assholes that took my sister might try to tear my Achilles tendon or something. Spending a couple hours at Diego's house gearing up and preparing, I obtained a little more ammunition for my dad's shotgun. After Diego's father finished the piece of armor for my leg, I paid him a bit of money and went on my way with Diego. I told Diego to take the best guns he could. All he managed to bring with him was an M14 and a bow. I think he took the hunting thing too literally. In the car, I explained to him the situation again. This time I showed him some of the voicemails. In reaction to it all, Diego insisted I call the police for help. I denied and asked him if he knew someone actually helpful. Rolling his eyes at my reluctance to tell the authorities, he told me about a local gas station guy. Apparently, the local gas station worker was an honorably discharged soldier who decided to move to our little town and run a gas station since we didn't have one many years back. I'll spare you the details as this is dragging this whole thing on, but eventually we managed to talk this guy into joining us. His name was Clyde, by the way. Diego let Clyde handle the M14 since Clyde had greater experience with such weaponry than either of us. We all made it around 3 in the morning. On the side of the road, I could see it. A rusty, old, beat-up, familiar car. Amy's car. Then it hit me like a brick. Clyde and Diego had to get me to pull myself together. Before we went onto the trail, we approached her car. It was a mess. The windows were shattered, stuff was strewn everywhere. I know Amelia better than anyone, and this is not how she would have left her car. It's been here for 3 years now. People definitely moved it off the road and raided the hell out of it. I could tell because anything worth money was gone. We went up the trail not long after that and eventually found ourselves at a dead end. Looking around, I saw exactly what Amy meant. There was, in fact, 2 trees that curved near each other that looked like some sort of doorway or archway. I called to Clyde and Diego, then pressed on. I don't think anyone has considered going into the foliage past the archway trees because everything seemed so untouched by humanity. We arrived at an abandoned tent. What do you know, it's the exact same color, brand, and design as Amelia's tent. What a fucking coincidence. I was in the middle of almost having another breakdown and having to have Diego and Clyde calm me down when nearby I heard a noise. A noise I dreaded. A noise I can only describe as a click. In a split moment, I lost any will to stay on the ground and cry. I bolted up and looked in the general direction of the sound. I'm guessing Clyde and Diego heard it too, because they turned the same direction. There it stood, one of those little fuckers, exactly as Amelia had explained. Small, frail, smells of decay, looks like decaying flesh, and colorless eyes. I have no idea why, but I took a step forward. Its somewhat human ears jerked a little in response to my somewhat silent step. In the background, Diego was whisper yelling at me to come the fuck back. Clyde had the M14 drawn and ready to shoot that thing if it tried anything at all. I glared at it directly in its stupid, sunken, colorless eyes and took another step forward. The next moment happened in a flash. It lunged at me, Clyde took a shot, Diego stumbled, I stumbled, the creature fell back. After almost going fucking deaf because of Clyde, I got up and passively aggressively thanked him for the ear damage, but also for saving my life. So did Diego. Clyde chuckled and we all gathered around the creature. Clyde had got it in the stomach. It was down, but it wasn't dead. Diego was freaking out because he realized everything I told him was true. I don't even know if these creatures have pupils in those clouded gray eyes, but I knew it was looking at me. While Clyde was getting Diego to calm down, I grabbed the thing's neck. It struggled. I threw the fucker onto the ground and raised my leg. It then looked at me and produced this weird click, 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 hum, 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 click, click, click. Clyde looked over, recognizing the combination of clicks and hums as an SOS. Those little bastards really are intelligent then. Holy shit. Clyde was as astounded as I was. Diego finally got up and was looking around, making sure that there wasn't any more of them around. I slammed the heel of my foot into the skull of whatever the hell you want to call these things. It let out an ear-piercing shriek in response to the pain of its skull being bashed in. Not only did its flesh look like it was decaying, it was as weak as decaying flesh. Somehow, its shrieks of pain were satisfying. They filled me with a hope I couldn't explain. I took the butt of my dad's shotgun and proceeded to bash its skull in even more. Every time, more and more it cried out. The more it shrieked, the more I enjoyed it. As a finishing touch, I absolutely obliterated its ribcage with a stomp from my foot. It finally shut the hell up after. Diego and Clyde just watched the entire thing. I stood up and casually threw out a, "All right then, let's keep going," and started walking. We kept walking. Eventually, we all approached the mountainside. It was still dark as hell, but I suppose we made it here faster than Amy did, because not only did we not take breaks to sleep, we sort of speed walked. Nor did we take 3 to 4 days looking for our phones twice. We were close to the place. I could tell because there were a few more of these weird gremlin zombie fuckers acting like guards. They were hostile upon seeing us. Something told me it was because they could sense I absolutely decimated one of their own. This is where it all went downhill. We entered no man's land without even realizing it. They surrounded us. Let me tell you, if you were to dig up every body in a cemetery, the smell most likely could not amount to the smell of decay from all of these things combined. Diego, Clyde, and I were standing back to back, looking around ourselves. I wish we had some sort of machine gun or something to have sprayed these guys with bullets. They all charged at once, and so did we. I don't remember who fired the first shot, but some of them started dying, but there were still too many alive for celebration. If I could go into detail as to what happened next, I would. Unfortunately, it's all a blur since it happened so fast. We must have been there all night fighting off loaves of whatever the hell you want to call them, because when it was over, the sky had that dark blue hint of sunrise. I was dizzy, not only from the horrid smell of decaying flesh, the wounds I received, and the metallic smell of blood, but also because my arms hurt like a bitch from not being able to handle a gun very well. As I struggled to get up from falling over, I looked up to see Diego hunched over Clyde, who was lying on the ground. I got up to see what had happened. Those things got him good. Clyde had a massive slash mark across his throat. Not sure when or how they got up there, considering he's not that short, but those bastards did it. I wish I could say that Clyde gave some last few words in the form of an emotional speech, but this isn't a movie. I sat with Diego for a moment of silence. We both struggled, but managed to bury Clyde, and decided to leave the M14 sticking out of the ground, and Clyde's watch around the barrel as some sort of makeshift grave. The rest of the walk forward was in pure silence. Neither of us said a word. Neither of us laughed. Neither of us even smiled. The only noise was the wind, our footsteps, and our fatigued breathing. I didn't even know Clyde before this entire ordeal. Losing someone hurts like a bitch. Diego and I eventually approached a cave. The sun was out already. I took out a flashlight I had brought along from Amy's room and illuminated the pitch-black darkness of the cavern. The zombie gremlins, or whatever you want to call them, had built a cage out of sticks and barbed wire from God knows where. In the cage was a girl hunched over in the dark. Next to the cage was one more of those things. I dropped all supplies I had on me right then and there. I remember this part vividly. "Stay right there, Diego. This one's fucking personal." I gave Diego a stern look. "You sure you don't want a weapon?" Diego asked. "I just need you to back me up if something goes wrong," I said just before walking up to what I guess you could call was our arena. The thing and I both charged at each other. We ended up tackling each other, and as I mentioned earlier, that I'm not that big or athletic, its impact was bigger than mine. The two of us fell back in the direction it came at me. I tried to hold back its hand, but its fingers took my left hand's pinky and ring finger with a quick motion that I can only describe as the scissors gesture from rock, paper, scissors. I felt tired from the huge fight earlier, so my grip wasn't too strong. It got me on the right shoulder. God damn, I don't think any string of words in any language could describe to you the pain I was in. I finally managed to shove it back and struggled to get up. As soon as I did, my body was on autopilot. I dashed right at the fucker and dove into its fucking skull with a sick-ass dropkick. I slammed onto the ground, arm first, and felt dizzy from blood loss and fatigue from earlier, but I wasn't about to drop out just yet. I got up and stomped on its skull until its entire head felt like mush. Diego quickly ran over to me when it was over and bandaged up my hand and shoulder. Everything else was kind of a blur, but I found myself in the car with Diego driving and the girl from the cave in the back seat. There she was, Amelia, my beloved sister who was missing for 3 years. But something was off. She wasn't herself. She was distant and silent. She always seemed to be staring off. Eventually, we got home and I got Amy cleaned up. She never said a word, just stared straight ahead with a distant stare of a shattered life. It's been a couple of days now, like 2 or 3, I think. I started working at the gas station in honor of Clyde. He was such a respectable man who lived a respectable life. Nothing much has happened. Amelia is still completely silent. I've only ever seen her do something other than stare when she's right next to the window at night, and that's when she presses her hand to the glass and stares at the moon. I don't know what the fuck they did to her. I miss her. She's not the same. She's lost. That's not Amy anymore. She's just Amelia to me now. I want the original back. That was My Sister Went Missing in the Mountains 3 years ago. The other day I received her voicemails by LadyVonMare. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you have an amazing day and that you stay safe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Remember, stay spooky.